Proverbs 3:6 says, "In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." It's interesting because a lot of times I can find myself almost complaining to God about different situations in my life. And it's interesting that I complain, I think, a lot of times because I'm not submitting to God in certain places, in certain areas of my life. So, give an example. If you are really going to the Lord in prayer and you're really complaining about maybe your spouse and a particular situation, maybe in your marriage, it's almost as if I can hear God saying to me, submit that to me. Submit to me. And it's interesting because a lot of times we want God to intervene on our behalf, but I don't think, always want to submit to him. So if we're unwilling to submit to him and we do things our own way, it's almost as if we are praying, hoping that God will be on our side, not realizing that it's not God's job to be on our side. It's our job to seek out his will and then submit our desires to him and trust that he is going to use everything, all things, for good for those that love him and are called according to his purpose. So a lot of times I can kind of almost visualize this conversation in my mind. I go to the Lord and complain, God, my wife isn't doing what a wife should be doing. And God's reply is, Daniel, submit to me. God, they're not treating me the way they should be treating me at work. They're passing me over for promotion. They're not giving me a chance to really demonstrate my talents or my worth. And God says, Daniel, submit to me. Or God, my kids are really acting crazy and just driving me insane. And God says, Daniel, submit to me. And the more I submit, the more I give in, the more I learn about God, and the more that I will willingly give him areas of my life, the more I can see him working. And so this is my prayer for you today, and this is God is speaking to me just as much as he is speaking through me, is whatever we're going to God about in prayer, submit that situation to him. And then submit our lives more to him each day. And as we submit to him, and as we trust him, and as we get into his word, and as we focus on allowing God to shine his light in every dark area, every crevice in our life, and allow him to drive that darkness out, I think something wonderful begins to happen. The situation may not change. The situation with my wife or at work or with my children may not change, but what changes is my perception of those things. And as I submit my life more and more to Christ, what I understand is God will lead me and guide me. He will help me to say and do the right things. So I encourage you today, whatever you're struggling with, submit that to God. And submit it to his will. Know that his ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. And know that God is genuinely using everything in our life. Even the terrible heartbreak and frustration and struggle. God is using all things for good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. So my challenge to you today is to ask God how you can submit more perfectly to him. And then trust that God is using all things for good for those who love him. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God refresh you. May God give you strength and wisdom. May God bless you. And may God continue to draw you close to him. God bless you.